Good morning everybody. Beautiful Saturday morning here. We've got clouds, it's nice and cold outside, a bit of a wind blowing, so it's actually a perfect indoor day. It's also the perfect day to start off our hydroponics and our indoor garden journey. I have not built everything yet and I will do videos. I'm going to start with that today as well, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get everything ready to start our seed germination. Now we're going to germinate our seeds in rock wool. Rock wool is an inert substance. It's made out of rock and grodan. I don't know what it is, but it means it's got nothing in it, so it's ideal for hydroponics. It won't contaminate your plants, it won't introduce anything to your plants. The only thing with rock wool is that it does influence the pH of the water, and our seeds like to germinate in a pH of between 5.5 and 6.5, so somewhere around there. And if you stick rock wool into the water, it can push up the pH to 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to soak our rock wool, and we're going to use a product called pH Down. Let me just get it out of here. We're going to use our pH Down to just adjust the pH and get it in the right range for our plants. We've got pH down, pH up. When you do hydroponics, it's important to always have that. I once lost all my plants because the pH changed on the tap water that I used to mix it, and suddenly all the plants just died. Anyway, so let's get cracking. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to use our hypochlorous acid. Now, hypochlorous acid is a natural disinfectant. Well, natural, yeah. Your body actually creates hypochlorous acid inside itself, and it's a brilliant disinfectant. It actually works better than alcohol and a lot of other things. The only problem with hypochlorous acid is it doesn't last as long. It kind of loses its power after a little bit, but lately they've been coming out with new products that actually makes it last long enough. And hypochlorous acid is one of those disinfectants that you could literally spray on your apple before you eat it. They use it in a lot of food packaging plants to spray on the food because it's a very natural, it's got zero harm to humans, and it's a great product. But anyway, so we're going to use some hypochlorous acid. We're just going to treat our inside of our bucket, because this thing I'm using to soak the rock wool has been used in our move, so it's been around the block. I don't know what has contaminated it so far. So we're just going to give it a little bit of a treatment. And while that sits, it needs to sit about a minute for the hypochlorous acid to have its effects, and then we're going to fill it with water. So let me just explain the process. We're going to use that bucket to soak this rock wool for about 3 hours, just so that it gets enough water and nutrients in it. We're going to put water in there. We're going to drop the pH of the water to the right range, and then we're going to use some of our hydroponics foods. Now, I haven't even opened it yet, but you basically have, this is the nutrients that you use that the plants are going to take from the water to grow. There's three. There's grow, micro, and bloom. And there's little mixtures on the back that tells you what you need to do. So vegetative stage, flowery stage, so there's all different kinds of ranges. We're just going to add a little bit of it in the water. The plants don't really need that much to sprout, because actually for the plants to sprout, the seeds hold the food that they need initially. They mainly need water. But we are going to add a little bit of this in. I'm going to go and work out what the actual mix is, because you need to mix these little 3 bottles, and you need to mix it in specific combinations for the different stages of plant growth. So while it's germination and seedling, you have to mix a different mixture from when it's in the grow phase, from when it's in the flowering phase, and from when it's in the fruiting phase. Alright, I think this is good now. So let me just fill this with water. Give me 1 sec. Alright, here we go. So ideally you would use distilled water for this, but I don't have access to distilled water right now, and I'm not going to go all the way down to go and buy distilled water. I've used this. I'm going to, I've left the hypochlorous acid that I used to spray the thing inside, so it would kill any bacteria or anything that's harmful. So we're going to leave it at that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to check the pH of our water. So let's do that. Alright, so this shows a pH of 8.1, which is too high for our plants. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some pH down, and we're just going to add a little bit of this in. Let's just check the rules. Alright, so let's do this. We need to get the pH down to a maximum of 6.5. I think I'm going to aim for 6.5 because I'm going to let you in on another secret. I've not actually 100% calibrated the meter, so it could be that it's a little bit too high. So I'm just going to leave it. At the top end so that we don't go too low, because that's also not cool. Alright, and this is the first time I'm actually using pH down, so I'm not sure how much I need to add. So let's go. The last thing we want to do is mess it up. Really, now the pH shows 3.6, so apparently that little bit that I added was too much, which then means we need to go pH up. How's that for fun? At least I'm glad you guys are here to learn with me. So I'm just going to take a little bit less and let's see what it does. Mix it up. All right, boys. Nope, still too low. So let's add a bit more. All right, let's see. Okay, we're getting closer now. 5. Looks like we're at around 5. And still an extra tad. Apparently the pH up is a little bit weaker than the pH down. Alright. Is this going to be it? Or is this too much again? 6. pH of 6. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to stick with that one. That's our pH. I need to go get some distilled water though, because I do need to actually wash this off, which is, you know, with distilled water. Alright, let's just close these up. I guess I need to make sure I put the right lid on the right one. Alright, so we have that. We're going to add, alright, let's have a look. Formula. Alright, so we're going to add a little bit of micro nutrients to the water. You're not going to go overboard because, like I said, this is just for soaking the rock wool, so it's not major. We will do the proper nutrient solution when the seedlings have actually sprouted and, you know, in the thing there. So let's mix it up again. Make sure that it's properly mixed. I'm just going to go with the micronutrients for now. Right, let's have a look. What's happening? pH meter. And see, just adding that nutrients have actually dropped the pH again a little bit. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of pH up, because it's just on the low end of where we want it to be. There we go. Probably also not a great idea to use the same little pipette for the micro solution and the pH up. But hey, this is a home operation. Okay, there we go. So it's done. We are going to now soak our rock wool. The reason we're soaking the rock wool is we just wanted to get, properly soaked with nutrients and water, so that when we plant the seeds, and we also want to adjust the pH, obviously, because the thing is, if we don't adjust the pH with the water, the rock wool might actually increase the pH, and then the plants won't necessarily like it. We're just going to stick all of this in here, and yeah, that'll be it. Cool. So I'll be back. I'll get back to you when we go for the next phase, which would be to actually plant the seeds. See you later. Okay, folks. So it's been, I guess, about 3 hours since we did the earlier video where we started soaking our rock wool, and now we are going to get it up and get the seeds in it. We are going to use a propagation tray like this and a heat mat to create a little bit of extra heat, because I'm worried that it gets a bit cool some evenings and that the plants aren't going to actually sprout, or the seeds aren't going to sprout. So I'm going to plug the heat mat in, going to put my tray on there. We've got a dome that's going to go on the tray. Oh, one thing I forgot. What I'm going to do is I'm just putting a bit of cardboard under the heat mat, because this is a tile counter, so it would actually take some of the heat away. You know, it's just, I'm just going to insulate it a little bit better with the cardboard, so that the heat goes up into the tray and not down into the actual, you know, into the counter. So that's our setup. That's where we're going to start. Now we're going to take these rock wool cubes one by one, and we are going to push them into the tray. Alright, so that's all our rock wool in. We still have a few open spots, so we'll get some more rock wool and get a couple of extra seeds in. What I'm going to do is I'm also just going to add a little bit of this water in here over the whole thing, just to make sure that it's all nice and properly wet. And then we also want a little bit of water down at the bottom of the tray, the propagation tray, because that's going to help get the heat through into where it should be going. Alright, now we're going to start doing seeds. Oh, I spilled some water. Got myself a nice bright orange chamois to dry up any spillage. There we go. And now it's seedling time. We're going to start putting some seeds in. Okay, decisions. Now I know these are actually really good for the warmer weather seeds, so I'm going to definitely do a few tomato seeds. I'm going to do some snap peas. I love peas. What do we got here? Herbs. Let's do a few herbs. Oh, and of course we're going to get one of our marijuana seedlings in. Where did it go though? What have we got here? Cucumbers. It's definite. Of course, the tough job here is to remember what is where. That's always the fun part. Here we go. The marijuana seeds. We definitely got to do some lettuce. Kale, maybe not now. Some other loose leaf lettuce. We eat a lot of lettuce, and that's the thing that likes to waste the most. I think that's about it for now, for this round. Okay, so let me just go and get one more thing, and I'll be back in a sec. Alright, here we go again. Well, let's start off with these, of course. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of little seed pods here, but they all have different different names apparently. Kush, DVD, Blueberry, Grizzly. Where do people come up with the names? Texada, Time Warp. Alright, well anyway, I'm going to pick one of them and I'm going to get a couple of seeds in. So, wow, this is nicely done. I'm just going to take 4 seeds of this one, get this back in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 seeds in each little hole. So I'm going to start at the back there. I just want to make it a little less deep, because as far as I know, these don't like to be as deep in. And then I'm going to put another 2 in that hole there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to settle them in and cover them up. The same here, we're just going to settle the seed in there and just cover it up a little bit. Okay, that's those ones, and I think then we are also going to take one of the other ones. This was the Texada. I need to go and make, I probably need to go and make little stickers. I think I'm going to go with the blueberry. That sounds good. Blueberry Grizzly. So this is the first time that I'm actually germinating seeds this way. I've read up a lot, I've looked up a lot, but I've never actually done it. So I think there's a chance that I might lose some of these, but let's see. Okay, so we got the Texada at the back and the blueberry and the 2 in front. Cool. Now off to the next lot. Definitely tomatoes. Tomatoes are one of my favorites. Now this is like a complete mix set of tomato seeds. There's like, I don't know, like it's, I don't know. Seems to be, oh, it's not a lucky packet. There's just a whole bunch of seeds and we'll see. But they don't have names on them. So it is kind of a lucky packet, I suppose. Well, let's get some tomato seeds in. Now that's one problem with having fat fingers like I do. Trying to get things out of here, these tiny little seeds, is hard. So I'm going to stick one in there. I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to do 2 seeds per hole, just so that you know, you always have 2 shots. Basically, if both of them sprout, then what you do is you just take the weaker one out and you just leave the other one. But yeah, that's what we do. Okay, well that's all our tomatoes in. Now we're just going to close them up a little bit and make sure the seeds are covered and touching the sides. Okay, folks, that's it. Our seeds are planted, all ready to go. I'll keep you up to date and let you know when they start sprouting. Cheers.